It will be a great pleasure to welcome the members of the Commonwealth who will be meeting here in Rwanda, in Kigali, for CHOGM 2020.
As a result of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, CHOGM, scheduled to take place here in Kigali between the 22nd to the 27th of June 2020, has been postponed.
The 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting was scheduled to have happened June 2020. Unfortunately, because of the COVID pandemic, those meetings were postponed. And the Youth Forum, which was aligned to that Heads of Government meeting, was also postponed. And so this series has come as an opportunity for us to engage with young people across the world on how the COVID pandemic has changed the realities that affect them.
The 2020 pandemic has shown that it is time for youth to seize the opportunity to lead.
In the Commonwealth, we attach such immense importance to the involvement of young people in devising the policies and institutions which shape our lives and livelihoods.
The Commonwealth Action Series is a relevant and timely intervention because of what we are facing in the world today.
We hope to have a very interesting and engaging session, and I hope you will be able to engage with us as we discuss and talk together about the issues and priorities facing young people across the Commonwealth. I welcome you to this, the Commonwealth Action Series.
And today, road injury is the world's #1 cause of death of children and young people between the ages of 5 and 29. What more reason do we need to recognize road safety as an issue of relevance to the Commonwealth?
As a daughter of Africa, and as a mother that has tragically lost her daughter to road traffic injury, this has to change. Something is terribly wrong here, and I think it needs to be addressed urgently.
The Commonwealth is losing something like 500,000 people a year in road traffic crashes. 500,000 people. These are vast numbers involved here, and you're talking here, if you take the normal multiple, about 7 million serious injuries as well on top of the fatalities. People maimed and crippled, people out of the economic cycle, families thrown into poverty as a consequence. The scale is huge.
The great opportunity is that many countries, particularly those emerging economies within the Commonwealth, do not have to repeat the mistakes and can learn from what the more progressive countries have achieved in road safety. But one thing's for sure, as we move to automation, as we move to new opportunities, there are things that we can all learn together as we go forward. So our hope, and thank you again for your leadership, we hope that we can really create the networks for road safety and share the expertise in this room in other rooms for the benefit of all, with a particular focus on children and young people across the Commonwealth countries.
Hello, Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Many thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Commonwealth Youth Series. And indeed, a very big welcome to you all. I can see so many people from around the world that are joining already. And of course, we would like to know where you're connecting from. So all you need to do is simply type in the comment box, tell us where you're connecting from. Tell us your country, I'll be glad to read them out. Keep them coming. All right, I can see folks from India. Thank you so much for joining. I can see folks from Australia. I can see folks from Kenya. I can see folks from Malawi. Wow, amazing, amazing. Thank you so very much for joining in today's conversation. Thank you also for telling us what you would like to hear about this section when you were registering to participate in this event. Many people want to know what solution we have for road safety. But before we can start talking about that, we need our leader and decision makers to recognize road safety as a big public health issue we should all be concerned about. Just a quick one. Can any of you tell me how many people are killed on the world road each year? And again, just keep typing them on the comment box. Type them on the comment box. How many people are killed on the world road each year? Is it 1 million? Is it 2 million? Type them on the comment box. Type them on the comment box. And I'll be glad to read them out to you. Thank you so much. I can see several answers. Oh, the answer is 1.35 million. Wow. Can you take a moment and imagine that we're losing 1.35 million human beings on the world road every year? That's like a population of so many countries of the world. Imagine you heard that a population of a country was wiped out within a year. I mean, how do you feel? That's the number of people we lost on the global road every year. And unfortunately, a greater percentage of those we lost on the world road are young people within the age of 5 to 29. This is unacceptable. We can continue to lose our young people to road traffic crashes. We must find a solution to this carnage. And we need to put road safety on the Commonwealth agenda. And it is unfortunate to also note that a greater members of the Commonwealth region, a greater number of these deaths come from the Commonwealth region. And again, this is very unacceptable. We need to do something very urgently. We have some great youth leaders working in road safety joining us today to discuss with you how youth in the Commonwealth can speak up for road safety. And we invite you to join us in advocating for Commonwealth countries to make road safety a priority. But before we dive into the main discussion of today, we have a couple of experts on road safety who would, share more light on the trauma issue and give us a little bit background about this issue that we're discussing. We have Jessica Trump from the Towards Zero Foundation to give us some details on how big the road trauma issue, both globally and in the Commonwealth region.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our session today on youth and road safety in the Commonwealth. I want to use this opportunity to give you some background and some facts and figures as to why road trauma is such an important public health concern. In fact, it is the biggest public health concern facing our young people today. Unfortunately, every year we lose over 1.35 million people on our roads, and there are many millions more that are injured. And for some of these people, they will be living with life-changing injuries forever. As the name of our event suggests, road trauma is the leading cause of death for young people globally. Road trauma is the #1 killer of our young people aged between 5 and 29. In the Commonwealth alone, we lose over 500,000 people to road crashes every year. Road trauma doesn't affect everyone equally, with the death rate varying quite significantly amongst the Commonwealth countries, with some countries losing more people than others. And unfortunately, the trend that we're seeing in the Commonwealth countries is that nearly all the countries are showing an increase rather than a decrease in the rate of death and injury. With road trauma being the #1 killer of young people on our roads, this is an especially important consideration for the Commonwealth because over 60% of the Commonwealth's population is made up of young people aged under 30. These facts and figures together make road trauma one of the biggest public health issues that we face today, especially for our young people. And it also makes it one of the biggest man-made humanitarian crises that we must address. If we don't put a priority focus on road trauma and addressing it, we're not putting in place enough measures to keep our young people safe. But we can change that. Road safety is included as a priority action area under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And a new UN resolution has recently declared the next 10 years between 2021 and 2030 as the second decade of action for road safety, and is calling for countries to help meet a goal of halving road deaths and injuries by at least 50% by 2030. And this is a great opportunity for the Commonwealth to get involved in the decade of action and help prioritise road safety and make the goal of halving road deaths by 2030 a reality. We need more leadership, we need more commitment, and we definitely need more action in road trauma prevention. Because if countries continue going the way they are now, very few Commonwealth countries are actually going to meet that target of halving road deaths by 50% by 2030. In fact, a number of countries in the Commonwealth are actually projected to see an increase in the number of people killed. And that is just unacceptable. It's unacceptable because road crashes are both predictable and preventable. And we have the solutions right now to be able to do something about it. We created the Commonwealth Road Safety Initiative to advocate for the Commonwealth to do more to improve road safety, especially in relation to young people. One of the recommendations from our expert panel report was for the Commonwealth to address road trauma as they relate to young people as a matter of priority. We can't talk about youth development, we can't talk about sustainable development without addressing the biggest health threat facing our young people today, and that is why the Commonwealth needs to put road safety on its agenda. I hope this presentation has given you a bit of context as to why we need to address road trauma so urgently, and that you can join us to change this reality for the better. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much, Jessica. Road crashes is such a big issue, especially for young people in the Commonwealth. But it is good to know that we have the solution right now, and countries can act straight away to avert some of this issue. Meanwhile, as the conversation continues, I would like to remind you that keep your questions coming. Type them on the comment box. All the questions you have, please type them on the comment box. And don't forget to tell us where you're connecting from. I'll be glad to read them out in this conversation. Next in this conversation is Professor Agnes Bagengubwa from University of Global Health Equity in Rwanda. She will be taking us on how road crashes is also an economic sustainability and accessibility issue.
Dear participant of the Commonwealth Action Series, we need your support for putting road safety first, and I will develop here why, using the angle of equity, economic, sustainability, and accessibility. The burden of road injury is huge. Remember that road injuries are the leading cause worldwide of the death of children and young people aged 5 to 29. It is dramatic because we know that over 60% of the population are under 30 years old. According to the World Health Organization, 400 young people under the age of 25 are killed on road accidents every year. And the number of children injured from the road is estimated to be 10 million every year. With the vast majority of these deaths and injuries occurring in low and middle-income countries that are struggling for their development without realizing that road accidents undermine their development effort. First, in this slide, see that road safety is an equity issue because the number of vehicles is not proportionate to the burden of accident and for multiple reasons, among them the regulation of road traffic and also the standard of vehicle manufactured by some car makers that are not the same for rich and poor countries. For the economic burden of road accidents, we know that crash risks are higher during the first years of having a license. Teen drivers are nearly 3 times more likely than drivers 20 and older to have a fatal crash. We need to take in account the healthcare expenditure and knowing that the most concerned, the youth, are less able to bear such a cost. Associate also to the loss of employment due to handicap caused by road traffic accidents and the loss of money spent for cars when we know that car makers deliberately manufacture poor quality vehicles for the low and middle income countries, increasing the risk of injuries and death for drivers and passengers. To explain more the link between road injuries and economic development, see here the impact of road injury on the GDP. 10% reduction in road traffic deaths raised per capita GDP by 3.6% over 24 years. This means a missing long-term economic growth. The figure on the right illustrates the percentage reduction of road traffic accident and its impact on the increase of the GDP per capita. The problem is that road safety is also an accessibility issue. At national level, the lack of access to safe public transportation is an issue. Road safety regulation and appropriate enforcement of this regulation also. 80% of all countries worldwide fail to meet basic safety standards, especially in low and middle-income countries. And this is due to the lack of national commitment to increase road safety. At individual level, violating road laws and regulation and driving under the influence has dramatic impact. Lack of footpaths, trails, bridge, roads reduce accessibility and mobility in day-to-day life, access to market, healthcare, school, etc. Lack of pedestrian sidewalk increase the vulnerability of certain groups such as children. In this slide, see the high value to improve safety for school children. Finally, for sustainability, we must collaborate diplomatically to ensure effective prevention of road traffic injuries with a multi-sectoral approach in coordination to bring a synergy between the financial and legislative sector at national and local level and collaborate at international level to improve the quality of cars sold in low and middle-income countries. We need also to facilitate the sharing of data, best practice and policy, for example, the Commonwealth Road Safety Initiative and the World Bank Global Road Safety Facility. We need to do advocacy for this sharing of data to have an impact on policies and to highlight the high burden of deaths related to road injuries and to make road safety part of the wider agenda to achieve the SDGs. Very important. And also to put road safety First, as an equity, economic, sustainability, and accessibility duty for all, we need the leadership to push this agenda for a better world for all. I thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Agnes, for this wonderful presentation, and indeed for letting us know that by improving road safety, we can improve accessibility for our young people and help improve the economy of our nation. Well, Danley, you asked a question if you can get the slide. Yes, of course, you can. I would advise that you join the coalition, the Global Youth Coalition. We shall be sending you all of this resource material to your email. And now let's hear from Raphael from Youth for Road Safety on how young people around the world are taking action to improve road safety.
Hello everyone, my name is Raquel Barrios and I am a project manager at YOURS, Youth for Road Safety. I would like to start sharing more information about the organization itself and especially one of the biggest programs that we are leading towards the involvement of young leaders worldwide in road safety action. So I'm going to share a presentation with you so it's easier to go through the information. So as you can see in the first slides, YOURS is a global organization that has been acting for 12 years to make the world's roads safer for youth. As you might know, road traffic injuries are the leading cause of death for young people from 15 to 29 years old. So we are working to tackle that fact and make sure that the disease reduces with the youth involvement. With the support of the World Health Organization along the years, we have been working together with youth in global advocacy action and youth empowerment programs to ensure meaningful youth participation in the design of policies and programs that affects their lives. And especially to give young people the skills, the knowledge, and the resources needed to take action in their communities as agents of change. One of the key milestones that we have achieved this year was the organization of the Second World Youth Assembly for Road Safety. Before I share more information about this amazing event, I would like to share a video that will tell you much better than me what happened there. So let's go with the video.
Enough is enough. We, the youth of the world, gathering in Stockholm, Sweden, for the Second World Youth Assembly for Road Safety, unite and say, no more. We, the youth, representing over 74 countries, proclaim, hear our voice and our call for immediate action.
It's very encouraging that so many of you are here to take action for road safety. Why? Because every day over 1,000 young people are killed on the world's roads.
A system to transport ourselves, it kills so many people. Now, it's that system that we, the human beings, have invented and that we tolerate day after day that is the main killer of young people.
But rarely do you hear the story behind each one of those numbers. Statistics won't tell you how people are affected. It won't tell you about my mom, who cried every day. The statistics won't tell you about all the memories that will never be.
Almost 1.4 million people around the world has the same story as Scott has. You have an important task to make sure that your voices are to be heard.
As a street artist, I've always wondered, why is it that we feel powerless to transform the cities we live in? The way they look, the way they feel, the way they operate.
My grandfather, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, firmly believed in the power of the youth. And he said that if we provide the platform, it's our young people who are capable of bringing down the towers of oppression.
After reading that declaration, you know, that fire of youth is burning within. I feel like, you know what, we can claim our spaces and we can make the positive change, man.
Today we are here to inspire and motivate action on road safety. And to me, there is absolutely no greater inspirational motivator than trying to prevent this premature loss of life, which is preventable.
Be loud, be clear, be strong that youth are claiming their space and must be part of the solution.
As you have seen in the video, the Youth Assembly brought together more than 160 young leaders from different regions and fields of expertise, all connected to road safety and safe mobility. The activity was an official pre-event of the third Global Ministerial Conference on Road Safety, where ministers and decision makers from around the world reunited to discuss the future of road safety worldwide. The main outcomes of the Youth Assembly was, first, the adoption and creation of the Global Youth Statement for Road Safety. That is the key advocacy tool for young leaders to approach and connect with decision makers at a global or local level. The second outcome of the Youth Assembly was the creation of the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety. And on this, I would like to share more details with you. So, as you can see in the next slide, the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety unites individual youth and organizations in an informal member-based structure guided by key principles with a focus on meaningful youth participation and safe mobility. Through this program, the Youth Coalition is providing resources, capacity development, and partnerships to young leaders around the world in order to promote the implementation of evidence-based local actions and innovative strategies for global advocacy that will obviously contribute in the achievement of the Global Youth Statement for Road Safety and the SDGs in general. I just don't want to extend myself that much, so I want to finish my intervention inviting all young leaders to take part in the Youth Coalition by becoming a member. If you are not already one, you will find more information about the coalition on our website www.claimingourspace.org. And if you are between 16 and 35 years old, you can submit your application and start getting involved to solve the issue that is affecting your life and also the life of your peers. In the screen, you can see the website and the social media handles to keep you up to date on the things that we're planning. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share more information about the youth road safety movement that is putting together a big revolution in terms of meaningful youth participation in road safety and safe mobility.
Thank you so much, Rockwell. That's a great opportunity for young people to have a voice and help make a change. And I would like to, at this moment, invite those who have not joined the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety to join us. You know, you can see our social media display on the screen. Do well, please, to join us. The big moment we've been waiting for is here. And I am being joined by 4 inspiring youths that are doing an amazing job. in helping improve road safety. So let's get to meet. We have Olivia. Olivia is joining us from Uganda. How are you, Olivia? Tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm very fine, thank you, Simon. My name is Oliver Narada from Uganda. I'm a Youth Advisory Board member for the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety. I'm also the country coordinator for the Together for Inclusion Consortium in Uganda. I'm really excited to be part of this discussion on the biggest killer of young people in the Commonwealth. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Olivia, for the brief introduction. And all the way from Australia is Grace William. Hi, Grace.
Good evening, Simon. Hi, everyone. My name's Grace. I'm from Australia. It's a little bit late here tonight, so forgive me if I sound a bit tired, but I'm really excited to be here with you all. My job every day is to work with a company who lobbies the government for better road safety, particularly in regional areas where it's not as good as those roads in the city. And I'm really excited to be here to talk to you all about how and why we should be advocating to make roads safer for everyone, no matter who you are or where you're from.
All right, thank you so much, Grace, for the sacrifice. I mean, it takes a lot to stay awake for the purpose of this conversation, so we really appreciate. Next is Alex Ayub from Kenya. All right. So, like I did, go ahead, Alex, please.
No, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here again to talk and connect with young people from across the world. My name is Alex Ayub. I work under Youth for Road Safety across the globe, and our work is basically to impact young people with the road safety knowledge and to be able to know, look, this is what is killing us. And my work in Kenya, I work as a National Youth Programs Coordinator for the Kenya Red Cross, a humanitarian organization championing for safe communities. And of course, through the youth angle and road safety, we were talking about safe youth on safe roads for safe futures. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you so much, Simon, for having me.
All right, thank you so much, Alex Ayub, and thank you for the great work you're doing in Kenya to improve road safety, and of course for the community. And last but not the least, we have Ami joining us all the way from Rwanda. How are you, Ami?
How are you, Simon? I'm fine. How are you, Tom?
I'm good. I mean, let's have a brief introduction about you. All right. It looks like Ami is having a little technological issue, so we give him some time. Hope he will join us soon.
Yes.
So let's dive into the main conversation of today. Why we are here. And to start this journey with me, I would like to call on you, Olivia. Tell us from your perspective why a focus on road safety is so important in the Commonwealth region.
Thank you, Simon. First of all, road traffic crashes are the biggest killer of young people in the Commonwealth. In a country like Uganda, we are seeing children die on their way to school. The elderly feel unsafe to take a walk in the evening. Everyone feels unsafe on our roads, and we are saying enough is enough. Amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, you could see that so many young people and people of all ages would prefer to take a walk, to cycle to work, or to visit friends. But this is impossible because of the unsafe roads. Currently, young people are joining together still to say enough is enough. We are claiming our space to change the status quo. As we work together, we are seeing still from corruption to the infrastructure, it's like nothing is favoring us to make the change that we want to see. And as we build back better post the COVID-19 pandemic, we are saying the best way to do that is to engage young people in the decision making, to engage young people in the design of a better world. And we don't want to see more deaths. We don't want to see our brothers, our sisters, our parents dying on the road, irrespective of which country they are from. Coming from a low-income country, should there be a death sentence in case you're using the road? There shouldn't be differences in the countries differences in the communities, and we want to join together as Commonwealth to make sure that road safety gets high priority. Road safety is a matter of discussion on international forums, and we want to make sure that all governments know that road traffic crashes are the biggest killer of young people. We stop being quiet about such a global pandemic, and we want your voices as young people. We want you to join the fight. We want your creativity in making sure that this movement is driven to see that we achieve safe roads everywhere worldwide, and most especially in a country like Uganda. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Sorry, it looks like we've lost Simon temporarily. Hopefully he comes back to us soon. I just wanted to jump of other social and environmental issues, and these align to those SDGs, and you quite often find that the cure for one can help to treat the other. So a great example for that is if we focus on ways to improve health and road safety, then we can start to tackle issues from alcoholism and drink driving to obesity by increasing walking trips. Another way that we can also improve road safety is by making our cities more sustainable. And when we provide safe spaces for cycling, it reduces pollution, and it can also help to encourage helmet use, which reduces injury severity if there is a crash. And then underpinning all of this is to provide education and address inequality. Often those, unfortunately, as Olivia mentioned, who live in lower income areas have a very limited access to public transport or safe bicycle paths, and they may only be able to purchase public transport options which are cheaper, older, or less safe. So the key to helping people make safer decisions on our roads is also to provide them with education. I think that finding solutions to road safety goes hand in hand with making progress against many other United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And this is at the core of protecting and preserving life for everyone across any country. Sorry, everyone, just having a few more technical issues. Please bear with us. Apologies about that.
Yes, I've unmuted myself. I've done that. All right, thank you so much, Grace, for that wonderful presentation on, road safety, having a connection to social development area and the SDG. Moving now to Kenya, Alex, how are you implementing the Global Youth Statement for Road Safety? All right, thank you. It appears we've lost Alex. Technology issue. We hope that Alex will join us in short while. Meanwhile, Ami, let's move down to Rwanda. You are a doctor, and starting this year, we were in a pandemic war, and you want to tell us how do we advocate for road safety in a world such as ours in this moment?
So thank you so much, Simon, for bringing such questions. So introducing for me a bit, my name is Humbie Ami, a member of Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety, media officer in Help People Rwanda, and president of Vision Zero Youth Cancer. Normally what we do, we conduct teaching sessions, organizing mass campaigns that aim to raise awareness on road safety in both primary, secondary, and driving school as well. So the aim of all that activity is to decrease morbidity and mortality related to road crashes. So back to your question, Simon. So as we all see, the whole world attentions and focus was on the pandemic. So as we have seen in these past 6 months. So normally previously, there were many activities like related to safety, so like registration of laws and many projects that were intended to be implemented by different NGOs, but because of a pandemic, all activities related to road safety were now on hold. We used to, before 6 months, we used to advocate for road safety in 3 different ways. The first one was to organize teaching session at school. The second one was to organize mass campaign that aimed to raise awareness. And the third one was to organize the conference and training like the one you had in Sweden. Second, World Youth Assembly for Road Safety, and third, Ministerial Conference. But all activities were now stopped. So what we need to do in this, after coming, as we all see, the world is coming out from the lockdown. So what do we expect? I myself, I expect the increase of circulation and road users. So what does it mean about that? If there is increase of road users without advocacy of how we should behave on the road crashes will be increased. But we don't need that. So what we can do as an NGO and youth is to work and to collaborate with government to keep advocating for road safety, because we don't need to overwhelm the health services with road crashes. And we all know that road crashes is an issue that can be prevented and through organizing teaching sessions. So thank you so much for that question. As I conclude, I can say that we need strong collaboration between NGOs and government to keep advocate for road safety. As I always, let me give you an example in Rwanda. Last year, 2019, my NGO, together with Rwanda National Police, we organized national mass campaign of 52 weeks that aimed to raise awareness on road safety. That was the collaboration I was saying. And the result at the end of 2019, road crashes decreased by 17%. Imagine if we can do that in this new decade of action. We can even achieve the target of action before 2013. Thank you so much, Simon.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, Manpreet. All right, let me introduce Ale. All right, thank you so much, Ami, for that insight. And I quite agree with you. In a challenging world like ours at the moment, where we have a pandemic, the only way out to improving road safety is collaboration. And I would like to share a few moments of what is happening in Nigeria. Despite that we have a pandemic, COVID is ravaging everywhere. we still have crashes happening on the road. So we need to intensify our program. We need to intensify advocacy, to ensure that we improve road safety. Yeah, thank you so much for that point. And now we have Alex on the call. Alex, if you can hear me, I was going to ask you, how are you implementing the Global Youth Statement?
Thank you so much, Simon, and thank you for the patience with a little bit of a technical hitch here and there. But this does not stop the spirit of young people when it comes to advocating and claiming for our space. Yes, in February, early this year, before COVID became a global pandemic, we had a global youth statement for road safety that was as a result of collaboration. And this was basically presented to the global youth leaders and the various stakeholders and opinion leaders in various sectors in matters road. And this one of the major things that some of the key characteristics of this global youth statement was, first, it had actual demands of young people for road safety, but at the same time it had commitments of young people to road safety. And these demands are basically to governments and opinion leaders on what they want, what we, the young people of the world, want to be able to be safe on the road. And the biggest question now in education for an empowered, youthful population, we will be able to see one of the greatest forces of all time coming from Africa, that is its youth, in the coming years. And that means that all factors that are able to stop this dream of young people has to be stopped, and road safety is key. So we are educating our generation, first of all, among each other on the impacts of road safety. It's important that young people understand, and that's what we are doing as part of localizing this global youth statement, to understand that road safety is the biggest killer. It's important when you know who your enemy is, so that you know how to prepare and to avoid your enemy. And we're saying the enemy is predictable and preventable, and that means we are able to take, we are able to fight back, and we are able to be able to prepare ourselves better. Then the other thing that we are doing to localize this is we are reaching out, we are collaborating, we are working with the National Transport and Safety Authorities across the various governments. So we are reaching out to these people, we are reaching out to the authorities. Right now in Kenya, we're implementing a road safety program for schools, and we are also working with the National Transport and Safety Authority. And I believe, my brother Ami will tell you the same thing is happening in Rwanda. My sister Olivia will tell you we're doing the same thing in Uganda, and also Grace in Australia. So there's a little element of collaboration. And then lastly, we are working as young people to connect at a global level, to learn best practices. And that is where the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety exists, because we want to learn best practices. What is working in Nigeria? What is working in the United States? What is working in Britain that is making their numbers low, that we can implement and borrow from in Africa, in Kenya, or whichever other part of the world. So this is how we are localizing this, and we still, even on this call, I'm calling on all leaders who are watching and who will be able to see this, that we are reaching out to you. You can also reach out to us to be able to reduce, to eliminate the biggest impact killer of young people. So we are saying we want roads that lead young people to their dreams, and not roads that lead them to their death. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Alex, for that wonderful and, of course, the vibrant presentation as usual. I quite agree with you. We need to start localizing this effort. It's not enough to begin to talk about this issue globally. We need to start, educating people, pushing, making sure the message reach out to the people at the grassroots. That way, we would achieve the global goals of road safety. That way, we'll begin to make impact and we'll begin to draw attention to some of these issues. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation so far from our youth leader. I mean, this, of course, this discussion cannot be complete without getting your insight, you all participating in this program. And so, like I did mention, we would like to have your questions, we'd like to have your comment. Keep typing them on the comment box, and we will be glad to read them out and to our youth leader for them to provide answers to some of these questions. But moving on, I have a question. Somebody asked a question. I think Husseini Kamara from Ghana. You are asking, what advice can be given to citizens who built their houses and saw close to the road without leaving any distance? And how do we become? I didn't get that way, but I hope you mean how do I become a member of this movement? You know, so any of the youth leader can jump in to answer this question. And before that, I would like to also share what is happening in Nigeria. We have similar cases. You have a situation where people build around the road and not giving a safe distance from the road. So, I mean, in your perspective, youth leader, what do you think can be done? And again, how can Husseini join the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety? I think Alex is in the best place to provide answer to this question. Alex.
No, thank you so much, Simon. And Husseini Kamara, thank you. He's also a great leader of Red Cross in Ghana, and it's happy to see you, Husseini, that you're on this call. Yes, the issue of infrastructure, basically, that's what you're talking about, and urban designing, especially around roads. This is, I think, it's a common problem in most, I would say, most African countries. I've seen that in Kenya, I've seen that in Uganda, I've seen that in Togo. And one of the things that are happening, this is basically based on infrastructure, and there are authorities that are supposed to ensure then that there's a proper urban planning and urban spacing. But one thing I can tell you for a fact is in most of our roads that were constructed, I would say, for example, in Kenya now, I would say you're confirming that in Ghana, you realize that back then there was no vision of how infrastructural engineering. But today, we have an idea. We know that a road at the minimum should be able to have a footpath on the sides or both sides of it. And that footpath should be separated from the main road. So we should be able to start advocating for this and reaching out to the authorities, and whether they are local authorities or national authorities, so that we are able to reach out to them and be able to tell them, look, these particular structures that are here are hindering safe passage of pedestrians, are hindering safe passage of cyclists. So we want to be able to see how do we better have road infrastructure that accommodate everybody without people being selfish enough to be able to build on road spaces or spaces that have been demarcated for road construction. So that is, I think, something that we should be able to do. And Hussein, you can be part of this global road safety coalition. You know, this is for us, it's for all youth. And you can log into www.claimingourSpace.org, or you can just check on the chat box. There is a website link that is posted there, so that we are able to join this space and carry this movement with us, and share it out also with your peers and members of the Ghanaian Red Cross youth. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Alex, for that insight, for that detailed insight, and of course on how people like Hussein can join the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety. I do not know if Olivia, maybe Grace, any of you have any input to what Alex had said? Do you have anything to say? If not, I'll go ahead and ask the next question.
I would just say to make sure you stay safe but look at ways that you can protect you and your family and others around your home. And that can be done through educating small children and others about how to stay safe when in the house or near the roadside. You know, look before you cross. Make sure you don't wear dark coloured clothing at night so that cars can see you better if they have headlights, things like that. And also, if possible, I would suggest trying to look if you can actually get some sort of physical barrier out the front of your house. Ask your politicians or try to build it yourself. Any kind of barrier, if something comes towards your house, will help to protect and save lives in your home. So that would be my suggestion.
All right, thank you, Grace, for that insight. Olivia, any comment? Otherwise, all right. So thank you again, once again, Grace, for that insight. Moving on to the next question. I'm not sure what this person's name is. Please, if you're hearing me now, if you're typing in your question, make sure you attach your name and, of course, the location you're joining us from. The second question says, how do the youth influence better policy on alcohol laws, which is one of probably causes of the road safety problem? Olivia, would you like to share some insight on this? He's saying, how do youth influence better policy on alcohol laws, which is one of probably causes of the road safety problem?
Thank you, Simon, and thank you to all young people that are watching and sending in your questions. I think this starts with claiming your space at the decision-making table. For you to be able to influence policy, you need to be there when these policies are being designed, reviewed, and reformed. So we need, as youth, to start by one, claiming that space at the decision-making table, to making sure we are taking responsibility on the roads, but also we are also understanding where these policies are coming from. Let's sensitize each other on alcohol use and its dangers. 2, let's be responsible enough on the roads. 3, let's influence, like you said, they're asking how they can be part of influencing the policy. Let's influence our fellow peers, and then once we get that seat at the decision-making table, let's make sure we represent the voices of the peers out there to support them in understanding the dangers of alcohol on the road, but also work with the government and all the other decision makers to meet us halfway in order to design policies that are favorable, but also that put young people, the needs of young people into mind as they're being designed.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Olivia, for that explanation concerning the question on how to influence better policy. Again, that question was asked by Sydney Boyes. Sydney Boyes, you didn't include your location. Yeah. So moving on to the next question. It's getting clearer now. Dan Lee from Malaysia is asking, human misbehavior or error are the cause for almost 80% of accidents. How do we educate or incentivize drivers to behave properly on the road? All right, Grace, I don't know if you have any input on this. Dan Ali from Malaysia again is asking, human behavior or error are the causes for almost 80% of accidents. How do we educate or incentivize drivers to behave properly on the road?
Thanks, Simon. Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Dan. When it comes to influencing human behavior and driver behavior, there's 2 main tools that we can use. The first one is what we call the stick. So it's the bad disincentive, and that is things that can be implemented like enforcement, penalties, fines. Even on more of a community-based level, if you don't have very good enforcement where you are, good policing and things like that, a kind of community disincentive is actually, as a community member, stepping forward and saying that someone's behaviour is not acceptable. So calling them out on that and making a movement in your community to feel as though people are encouraged and have the confidence and the tools to call out when they see unsafe driving behaviour so that person doesn't do that again. The second one is you can look at incentives. So this can be things like, there's a range of things that are being trialled across the world, things like cheaper car registration or licensing for better driving behaviour. In countries where we're lucky enough to have insurance, you can have better insurance if you're found to be a safer driver. There are technologies which can also monitor your driving behaviour and give you feedback on ways that you can improve. So those are a few of the things. And one of the main ones, which is still a problem everywhere, that Olivia touched on, was the drink driving. A really good way that you can influence policies around these kind of behavioural issues is you actually need to have policies which are supported by the communities in order for decision makers to feel comfortable in saying, yes, we will do that. So you need to build that community support for a policy first. And one of those ways is, as I mentioned, to campaign in the community, give people the tools to actually make safer decisions. So one thing that we do in Australia is we have what's called a designated driver. If we know we're going to be drinking, we ask a friend to not drink and to drive us home safely. Have a plan, make a plan, have a friend whose house you can stay at. And as I said, also allowing people to feel comfortable calling out unsafe behaviour and making a bit of a game of it. We used to do this to anyone who used to speed in Australia. It means they're small and that they shouldn't be made a good example of. So that's the kind of community campaigning and empowerment that you can bring to people.
All right, thank you so very much, Grace, for that insight. From Malaysia. It's been an exciting conversation. And again, just to quickly add your point, countries should adopt the safe system approach. These things are preventable and avoidable if the right things are put in place. And so we are calling on leaders, especially the Commonwealth region, within the region, to prioritize road safety, to have road safety in their agenda, because we are losing human beings. And studies have also shown that countries' GDP, more than 7% of countries' GDP are lost to road traffic fatality, especially in low and middle income countries. And most of the countries that constitute the Commonwealth region are from low and middle income countries. So we need to keep pushing, we need to keep engaging, and we hope that within the short possible time, the Commonwealth region will recognize this big problem that is causing us a lot of debt, that is causing us, making our people poor. They will recognize it and have it on their agenda. When we have that, we know that the solution to this menace is near. Thank you so much from our conversation so far. We've recognized that road trauma affects everyone. Of course, everyone uses the road, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, a driver. There is need for us to come together and begin to take action for road safety. Everyone, again, deserves to be able to use the road safely, no matter where they live, whether you're from the low and middle income country or whether you're from the high income country. As youth in the Commonwealth, we can advocate for change, and we are calling on leaders. Again, we're calling on leaders in the Commonwealth to make road safety a priority. We're also calling on all youth participating in this conversation to join the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety. It is a platform that provides you resources, Is this a platform that provides you with capacity building? It is a program that provides you with opportunity to network and partnership for you to be able to promote road safety and take action, and help, put road safety on the Commonwealth agenda. Thank you so very much. I cannot thank you enough. It's been for me a great day, and on behalf of the Commonwealth Road Safety Initiative, the global, the Commonwealth Youth Forum, and the Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety. Once again, we thank you all for joining us today. We hope you will join us in making road safety a priority agenda for the Commonwealth region. My name is Simon Patrick Obi. I'm from Nigeria, and it has been my honor to moderate this section. Thank you all, and do have a great day. Keep speaking up for road safety and keep claiming your spaces in your different country. Thank you, and thank you. You said? All right. I mean, this conversation wouldn't have been successful without our able young leader. So I sincerely thank you, Alex. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Ami. Thank you, Grace. Let's continue to claim our space in our different country. Thank you, and do have a good day.